We have on stage one a most special speaker next. Now, Mirella is going to present on her topic, The Paranormal is Normal, but by way of introduction, you may have not put the two pieces together. It is Mirella and Paul King who have conceived and birthed this entire convention. Amazing. So, Mirella, before I introduce you as a speaker, on behalf of myself, the exhibitors, more than 50 speakers, the audience that we have here, the participants yesterday and today, we thank you. We thank you sincerely. Yeah, amazing. So, for now though, the afterlife. The paranormal is normal. Can't wait to hear your inspirational talk. Please welcome Mirella to the stage.
Hi, thank you.
All right then, so just
thank you
and enjoy.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Hi. Let me give a plug to Rent a Crowd. Worth every cent. Thank you for turning up. Wonderful. So today I'd like you to come on a journey with me to a realm that is sometimes feared, judged, misinterpreted, the realm of the paranormal. And I'd like you to perhaps consider that the paranormal is actually very normal. And not only normal, but natural. A natural part of our essence. So as we journey today, we will look at some myths. We will dispel some myths. And perhaps invite you to look at this through a very different lens. You see, when we look at the word normal, for us to change the paradigm around the paranormal to being very normal, we might need to shift our consciousness into another place, another lens which we can view this from. When we come from a place of limitation, we limit ourselves to the essence and the totality and expansion, the unlimited beings that we truly are. So I invite you on a journey with me today. How many of you, by show of hands, have had a dream in your dream state only to find that that has come to fruition? Yep, good. How many of you have had intuition where in your gut feeling you knew something was right to be proven true? Yep. How many of you have ignored that? How many of you married that person? Oh, no, just me? Oh, no, whoops, just me. You too, few people. Did those experiences happen out there or did they happen in here? You see, the paranormal is not external. It is part of who we are. It is our natural state. It is our essence. And when we embrace this and live from this, it is truly exceptional. When you incarnate into this lifetime as a spiritual being, you need a human body as your escort. Some bodies are Ferraris, some are V-dubs or Mini Coopers. Whatever it is, they all work the same. But you need your 5 physical senses to navigate this earth school, to navigate this earth space. You need your eyes to protect you, to hunt and gather, to view your beautiful baby, to enjoy a sunset. You need your ears for safety. Again, hunting and gathering, to listen to music. But your 5 physical senses are given to you in addition to your psychic intuitive gifts, not instead of. They are addition. So your psychic and spiritual nature is actually your natural default factory setting. We all have the ability to tap into our intuition, and it is the way we should be living. So if you are navigating this lifetime using only your 5 physical senses, you are missing out on so much that is available to you. Let's look at firstly the myth of normal. Normal is not a universal truth. Agreed? What is normal for one culture is not normal for another. Normal is a collective agreement based on religion, yes, science, history. But when we look at this, it can be a very limited viewpoint. And sometimes trying to fit in and be normal can actually be a disservice. Because trying to fit into a box of normal can actually limit who you are meant to be. Hands up for the psychedelic black sheeps in the family. Woohoo! You are so seen. Don't call them black sheeps, we're psychedelic sheeps. Let me tell you my story to put this in context. I think when you're 4 foot tall, you can't really start a story with when I was little, when I was littler. So maybe a very long time ago. My earliest memory of spirit communication was when I was 4 years old. We lived in a big house with a very long corridor. And like most kids, I would call out for my mum, who was here. I would call out for my mum to come and take me to the bathroom. And she'd come, and then she'd walk me back to bed and tuck me in. But one night, I called and she didn't come. And I remember a voice said to me, "I'll take you." And I knew that I was very safe. And as a little person, I held out my hand. I knew it was a man, and I never saw anyone, but I sensed and I felt, and I knew it was a man. And he held my right hand, and we walked up this very long corridor to the bathroom. He waited, walked me back to bed, and there I was. And I remember this very vividly, folks, because I repeated this whenever I needed to until I was about 13 years old. I would just call out, and this person would walk. At some point here, my mum said to me, "Oh, I heard you get up by yourself." I said, No, Jesus took me. I always knew it was Jesus. I just always knew it was Jesus. I never saw anyone, but I knew. I knew that Jesus came to hold my hand and walked me up this very long corridor, waited at the door, and walked me back. Now, what happened when I was 13? I told you that this repeated till I was 13. What happened when I was 13 was there was a genre of Hollywood films which were horror films. And like many of us, I watched The Exorcist, Amityville Horror, Poltergeist, many Hollywood films in the horror genre. And I became very, very fearful, very fearful. And all of a sudden, what was normal and natural to me, my intuition, my guidance, switched right off. At the same time, this 13-year-old girl hits high school, and I start telling my friends about my psychic or psi experiences. And I remember they were just backing up, looking for their nearest exits. And so I knew very quickly that if you want to fit in and you want to be normal, you have to change who you are. And so again, my normal psychic self withdrew, and I became this person that I wasn't. And let me tell you something, as a 13-year-old girl trying to fit in, I was lost. It was a tough time. I wasn't who I was meant to be. I wasn't living authentically. I was confused, I was lost, I was sad. And I often think now about our children who are not connected to their normal spiritual selves, because I lived that life. And I knew I had to change who I was and block all this out to fit in. So we fast forward to age 18, 19, and I fell in love with yoga. Yoga and meditation. I fell in love with yoga and meditation. And that brought me back to my intuition. That brought me back to my body, to myself. And I started to understand again who I really was, the importance. And I knew that I was now reconnected. And I tell you now, I never wanted to be separate again. From that time, that set this whole journey of finding out who I was and the importance of staying connected. And you know, the analogy, and we talk about this often, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. I really, really felt the absence of my connection. So when I reconnected to my guides and my intuition and my psychic self, which is your natural self, I did everything I could to stay connected. I embarked on a deep dive. So sometimes trying to be normal can actually be the most damaging thing you can do. Trying to fit in, trying to turn yourself into a pretzel. We do it in relationships. Trying to be normal, trying to turn yourself into a pretzel to fit in. I say, screw normal. Screw normal. What is normal? And who gets to decide what's normal? You know? So what I learnt from that was fear keeps us separate. Fear keeps you separate from yourself. Fear primes the body for protection. When you want to tap into your guides and your intuitive self, it's the opposite. You need connection, not protection. Connection. And fear is the very thing that will block this. Fear of being ridiculed, fear of being judged. It wasn't that long ago that we were burnt at the stake for being healers, alchemists, naturopaths, witches, all of it. But it still goes on today. When I run my psychic and metaphysical development circles, one of the most common thing people say to me is, Mirella, my God, thank you so much for holding this space, because I can't talk about this to my partner. I can't talk about this at work. I cannot talk to my family about what I'm experiencing. So we need spaces like this that allow us the stories, that allow us to share our experiences, because when we do as a collective, this becomes the normal. And then it isn't so woo-woo. Now, I'll just give you a little story on that. To try and have the media, Channel 7, 9, the mainstream media, and even radio, pick up this event, you know, no one wanted to know about it? It's too out there. Too out there. So it still happens today. You think we're talking about witch trials and this was woo-woo back then? The mainstream today still don't want to know. So it is still very present. Myth number 2, that the psychic mediums are a select few. No way. No way. Your psychic and intuitive self is your natural default factory settings. It is who you are. And we all have the ability to connect to spirit. You think your loved ones don't want to connect to you? They are trying to get your attention. And there is nothing to fear and nothing paranormal about it. It doesn't happen out there. It happens in here. And it is so subtle. So when you sit in that fear space, very unlikely you're going to pick up this intuitive vibes, because it's so subtle. So relax and tap in. And who doesn't need a bit of inside intel? You want to tap into these people. It's absolute spirit intelligence. Spirit intelligence. Tap in. I'll give you a little story. One of our beautiful students said to me, Mirella, I'm so angry. I'm trying to connect to my mum and I can't see her and I can't feel her and she's never around. I said, no, not true. Your mum is trying to talk to you. Your mum is trying to connect to you. You are looking for her where she isn't. You'll find them in the subtleties. So a few weeks later, she comes in and she said, I was driving. I was so angry at her because she doesn't connect. And she said, all of a sudden, this idiot in a BMW cut me off and I had to slam on the brakes. And I looked up and the number plate was MUM, Mum. I said, your mum had to cut you off, you see? She said, do you think it was a sign? No, you need a signier sign. You need a signier sign than that. So I would just like to tell you that the paranormal is nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. Fear is what will keep you separate from your most beautiful, multidimensional, limitless being. The sky is not the limit. Your belief system is. Your belief system is going to be where you are limited. My guide said to me, Mirella, have fear or have faith, but pick one because they cannot coexist, right? Pick fear or pick faith. Pick one. I don't know anyone that consciously chooses fear, right? So sit in the faith that your loved ones are around, they are trying to connect to you. Yeah? So I just ask you here that perhaps we shift our consciousness to look through a very different lens. That this is an everyday normal occurrence, and not just normal but natural. It is as natural as breathing. As natural as breathing. And perhaps we talk about the veil being lifted. Perhaps there was no veil. Perhaps there's never been a veil. Perhaps it's been our perception that has been clouded all along. So I ask you just to tap in, to talk to your spiritual team. Make it normal. Find the spaces that where you can have your voice heard. Don't turn yourself into a pretzel. Don't shrink yourself to fit into a box of normal, because normal can really, really be your undoing when it comes to limiting who you are. I'll just take a few minutes for questions if you like. I've got a couple of minutes for questions if there's some things. We've got some mics. Can I just please give a hand to our volunteers? Because I think they're awesome. I can't see. Oh, yes, this beautiful lady. Narelle, can you head right up the back? Just raise your hand so Narelle can see you. I'm sitting in the dark here. This beautiful lady up the back. Just raise your hand. Yep. Thanks, love.
Hi.
Hi.
This all started for me when I was 5. I actually had a friend that I hung out with every single day, and I actually thought she was a real friend. And one day I was walking to school with her and I introduced her to another person, and she said there was no one there. But anyway, this friend and me played every single day together. And then I sort of gave it up for a little while, but I always could connect. But in the last 2 years, I've actually been doing it for other people. But when I make a spiritual connection, depending on what the person I'm connecting with died from, I actually end up bedridden for like 2 or 3 days because of their illness. Is there any way to sort of get rid of the sickness side of things when I connect for other people?
Yep. Thank you. Brilliant question. Thank you. So you're clearly very empathic. Yeah. Very clear empathic people and clairsentient people will feel the physical symptoms. Yeah. I remember my husband at the time when I was married. He says, I've had a really bad day. And I said, you've had a bad day. I've had prostate cancer, breast cancer. I've had 2 strokes and a heart attack. And he goes, what the hell are you talking about? So I totally understand you. Yeah, because I will actually have physical symptoms in my body when I'm reading for someone. When I read for someone and they've had a heart attack, my blood pressure will go up and I will have chest pain. It's very quick and it goes. So I say to you, you can ask your guides, please ask your guides to turn it down. Turn it down. You don't need it that strongly. What we do in Circle is we actually work. They really want you to feel this so you know what you're tapping into. But you can just say, just turn it down. I just don't need to feel it that heavily. And they will. They will. It's like the ringing in your ear at night. Is anybody, other than tinnitus, because that is real, but anyone have the ringing in their ear at night? That is your guides testing frequency very often. Just pay attention, particularly if it's your right ear. They have a very high-pitched shrill, and they will check your frequency to hear where you are picking them up on, like the bandwidth on your radio, what you're receiving. And how you know it's not tinnitus is you will say, stop, too much, and it will stop. Now, clearly, if it's a medical condition, if pain persists, see your doctor. That's what I should be like, a product disclosure statement. If pain persists, see your doctor. But you can say, stop, too much, I've got it. And they will turn it off. And when you know that that ringing will stop, you know that you've connected, and that is a physical symptom. So, my darling, yeah, and it is often a thing that people who are very, very clairsentient and very empathic do have to look after their physical bodies. You can have a chat to any of the mediums, Mary King, Florence, any of these beautiful mediums. We've all had health issues when we don't get them to turn it down because they want to show us. And so it is a very real thing. So I just say, guys, turn it down. I'll say meeting, turn it down too much. You need to have boundaries with them. You need to let them know I'm hearing you, I feel you, but you've got to turn this down. So really, really communicate that to them. Sorry? And disconnect, yeah. Get very... Yeah. Of course. Yes. Correct. Yeah. Too much. Absolutely too much. Get them to pull it back. Talk to them. Really ground and let that go. That's a really fabulous question, so thank you. People say to me, Mirella, aren't you exhausted after reading for 20, 30 people? And I say, look, the information doesn't come from me. How did you know that? I don't know that. It didn't come from me. It comes through me. So also remember that it's not coming from you, from your body. It's coming through you. That way you can let it go. In, channel, in, out. In, feel it, give it, out. Not mine to keep. Not mine to keep. It does take a bit of self-care when you're having symptoms that strong. You know, I could have a little bit of a joke. Because I've been a nurse for 25 years, and I'd go into the medical practice and go, oh, Dr. Siddiqui, I've pulled a chakra. And he'd go, Mirella, I don't know what you're talking about, and you can't come in with that. I've pulled a chakra. I spiritualised too much and I've pulled my chakra. Any other questions? Thank you, my darling. Yes, Deb. Hi. Hey, Deb.
How do you know my name? You're really good. I got something in my third eye.
Deb is my B. We are B1 and B2. Deb and I are B1 and B2. Hey, Deb.
Hey, B2. So you were talking about tapping in.
Yes.
And you've mentioned clairsentience. Yeah. So maybe you can explain other ways that you can connect and maybe what signs to look for.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, B1.
No worries, B2.
You knew what I was thinking. That's why she's B1. Deb is also an amazing medium and healer for anyone who wants Deb here as well. So the most common way to tap into your guides, the most common ways is clairvoyance, clear seeing, and clairaudience, clear hearing. So there is a percentage of the population, about 10% of the population has something called aphantasia, where you can't make images in your mind. So for those people, meditation is difficult to make images. Aphantasia, you can't create an image. Anyone have that? It's actually about 10% of the population. Yep, can't produce an image. So for those people, you may not have clairvoyance. You may not see, but you might hear. Now, you don't always see spirit in a 3D physical form. You can. It's probably happened to me in my 20, 30 years of this 3 or 4 times where I've actually seen full 3D form. You typically see them as an image in the mind, typically. Not always, but typically. So clairvoyance, seeing things. You can see colours, you might see auras. Yeah, even dream states are an example of clairvoyance. Clairaudience is clear hearing. Anyone ever hear their name and then there's no one there? Yeah? Yeah. Because I love music so much and I'm so connected to music, I get a lot of music. So if I'm looking for a parking spot, I get Beyonce, to the left, to the left. Oh, I was like, oh. So they will tell me. And my guides sing songs. If I read for someone and there's an affair going on, they will sing, "There were 3 in the bed." I was like, ooh, saucy. All right, no judgment. No judgment, but they will sing. So if you're waking up with a song in your head, if you've got this repeated phrase or song, just listen, tap in. You might Google what the lyrics are. There'll be a message for you. So clairaudience, the ringing in your ear is also a really a profound sign that you're quite clairaudient. Clairvoyance is the most common. So they're the 2 most common. There are many. Claircognizance, clear knowing. Anyone look at someone pregnant and go, "You're having a girl"? I don't know how I know. I just know. Just know you're having a girl. Anyone? I don't know how I know that I'm not getting the bus today. I just know. I don't know how I know this, but I just know. Claircognizance. Claircognizance, clear knowing, is the most accurate of your clairs. So if you have this clear knowing, that is a tremendous gift to embrace. All the other clairs will require some interpretation, right? If you hear a song, "There were 3 in the bed," you might actually not realise why you're singing that song. But claircognizance, clear knowing, needs no interpretation. I didn't see it, I didn't hear it, I didn't feel it, I just know it. It requires no interpretation. So if you are someone that is very claircognizant, you have this amazing ability. So it's not something to move away from, it's nothing to fear, something to embrace. Clairempathy or clairsentience is where you can feel someone's emotions. Yeah? You might sit with someone and all of a sudden you just feel quite unwell, and like this beautiful lady here, if somebody's got chest pain or had a heart attack, you might actually feel the physical symptoms of that heart attack. I can tell you what prostate cancer feels like. Even clearly I don't have one, but I know, right? I've had many strokes, brain injuries. You'll understand, heart attacks, stabbings. You'll feel it. You can feel it in your body. And for me, it's momentarily. I'll feel it. Once I understand what it is, I give it, it's gone. I don't hang on to them. Yeah? Once it comes through your body, aha. Particularly when I'm reading, I know straight away. Yeah? Mainly, I think, because I've been a nurse for so long, I think my guides just use that as a tool that I will understand what that's about. So they're your most common clairs. Truly nothing paranormal, something to embrace and enjoy and move forward with. So perhaps today just take what you can, and perhaps remember to look at things with some curiosity. Yeah. I just want to thank you all so very much. This event has been 2 years in the making. I kind of said to Paul, who is I don't know where he's gone, who has birthed this event. This was Paul's creation. I've just come along for the ride. I don't know where Paul is. Are you going to hear Paul? It's probably... Hey, Paul. This is Paul's creation. On Monday, he's going to lose my number. 2 years, going to lose my number, Paul. This is a spiritual smorgasbord, right? Enjoy, take your fill of what resonates with you. There's going to be something for everyone, whether it's a healing, whether it's a message. I just want you to enjoy and take what you can. And these spaces are so important for us to share our stories. So I'm very grateful for your time in allowing me to share mine with you. Thank you so much to you all. Thank you.
Oh, Mirella, please just stay there for a minute. What a treasure we have in Mirella. And Paul, where are you, please? Paul, please stand up and take the thank you deserve. Mr. Paul King, thank you. We are here because of you and Mirella. Very special, and thank you for your beautiful talk delivered in such a way that I hope you all felt very inclusive. This is a natural part of life, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And it's with beautiful souls like you introducing it calmly and accessibly that we're able to see. So thank you again. Please thank Mirella.
Thank you so much. I'm going to grab my water.